Devils. Yes, this is Coach K final season. And I had this talk with another Duke fan. This is the most undisciplined Coach K team I've ever seen. They are just all Kyrie Irving's ISO balls. All they do is the ISO. They don't really play as a team. However, they're successful. So I give it to him. You could tell that Coach K is on his last leg, and he's ready to pass the baton to the next coach, which is John Shire. But this team is an interesting team. It's the makeup of it is interesting. So I like them. Of course, heading into the tournament, we lost North Carolina, which, by the way, despite what people think, I'm not mad at because it's North Carolina. If we would have swept them, it would have been beautiful, but losing to them is no shame. They're our rivals. I mean, we beat them badly the first game, so of course the second game we was gonna play us hard, especially in our arena. And looking at the fact that it was Coach K's last home game, I knew they was going to bring it, and they did. And Babcock. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey, respect. So shout outs to them. And I did want to play them again, but unfortunately they could not make it to the dance, to the real game. They couldn't make it till today, unfortunately, North Carolina. So, peace. And guess what? We're in the ACC championship game. Of course, who else was going to be there? And we played Virginia Tech. Next. That's right. That's how I feel right now. I believe we're going to bring the ACC title back to Durham, put it on the shelf. Let Coach K ride out in the sunset in the ACC on top. Now, tournament time is going to be interesting. I think if we win the ACC, we should be in the top 4. We should get a number 1 seed. However, what it may look like is we may end up with a number 2 seed. But if we win the tournament, if we win the tournament today, tomorrow we should be a number 1 seed. And I hope we get that number 1 seed, because we get that number 1 seed, I do believe that this team and the makeup that they have can actually win the championship this year, because they have a lot of legacy, which, by the way, was on display in the last game of the regular season. All that legacy that was in the Duke building. Anybody would be intimidated when you see people who won national championships, people who went on to have great NBA careers, people who went on to have great careers in life, and they're all in there on the last game watching you take down their arch rival. So shout outs to Duke, Coach K, bringing it home and bring on one more national championship. So we're going to go ahead and move into a situation that over the last year we've been following. And yesterday, which to no surprise, Deshaun Watson was pretty much told that there will be no criminal actions brought up against him. Now, that does not mean that they cannot go and sue him. This is in the world where you could be found not guilty but still be found liable. That's weird, right? O.J. Simpson was found not guilty. However, he had to pay the family because he was found liable. So that's what we see here, and I think that's what's going to happen with him. But now, guess what? He's cleared to play football. He's cleared to move on with his life. But more importantly, what happens now? What's next for him? Well, we know he ain't going to be in Houston. That ship done sail. It is what it is. It's sailed. Now, he's become probably the most coveted quarterback right now, honestly. And I don't know what's going to happen where I see him trade, because remember, he dictates his trade. So where would he want to go? I know we hear Carolina Panthers, but why? I'm in Carolina. I go to the games. We listen to the team. You know, we're Cam Newtons. But why would he come to a team that didn't make the playoffs? That'd be silly. If he's going to go to a team, he's going to go to a team that he knows that he can compete for a championship. So in other words, who's going to go for him? Now, we know Tampa Bay may need a quarterback. We know, despite what the 49ers may do, is it interesting right now to say, hey, maybe a swap Jimmy G and a couple of first rounders or Deshaun Watson? Matter of fact, how about Jordan Love? If you're a Green Bay, psych, we know Aaron Rodgers there, but it sounded good, right? But it's interesting because now Seattle is in a situation where maybe they're up there because they just got rid of Russell Wilson. So it's going to be interesting to see what teams will go after him and what they could put together to go after him, because that's the key, is what can you put together, what package looks good to the Houston for them to actually give you the rights to Deshaun Watson, and what team can he say, you know what, I feel like I can win with. Personally, I believe the 49ers, but do we give up Jimmy G? Do we give up anything for him? But I don't know, but I like the fact that there were no criminal charges brought against him, and I hope moving forward, he takes better care of himself and the people around him. And I hope he makes his circle smaller and don't put himself in situations where this can come up again. Because unfortunately in America, being a black male, this is his calling card. And from now on, this is always going to be over his head. They'll never let him live it down. But I'm glad that it worked out for him, and I hope he gets a new start with a team that ultimately within the next couple of years he can win a championship. Let's go ahead and talk about some trades. So I like the Washington football team. I like that name better than the Commanders, but I think it's Commandos. I don't know. It's silly, but I like the Washington football team. They could have kept it there. That was pretty dope. But they got Carson Wentz. Is that a move that you think that will put them ahead of Dallas? No. How about Philly? No, Jalen Hurts is actually better than what we expected, and that team has galvanized around him. So I don't see that moving the needle. Excuse me. Maybe they'll win more games, but overall, unfortunately, I don't see Carson Wentz as a game-changing quarterback. Now, if he has the pieces around him, a great defense, and you may see him be able to lead a team. But however, him leading the team is the wording that we'll have to choose, because just because he's the head of the team, he's the quarterback, don't mean he's the actual driving force of them winning. But I think it'll probably help him win some games. I don't think it'll help them move the needle within the conference. I still think it's Dallas and then Philly. And then Washington may be up in there, but I don't think it's going to do anything special for them. So I like to see what else they do with the draft, and also, some free agents, and see how they build around them, because that's the key. Keep them healthy and what you put around them. Russell went to Denver. That was interesting, because you always hear everybody like Denver's one quarterback away. They're one quarterback away. They got the team. They're set up. They're nice. They're just one quarterback away. And I'm like, well, are they really one quarterback away? Well, we're about to find out. So the pressure in which Russell Wilson has never been under, he is now under, because guess what? Denver was always one quarterback away, and they traded for him. So he's that quarterback in their mind to lead them. So we'll see what happens in that situation. I think he'll do well. I mean, he is a Super Bowl champion. Despite what people think, he did play well in that Super Bowl. The second Super Bowl, decisions was made. It happens. You know what? You think you could do something, and you don't get away with it. But overall, his play hasn't been that bad. But now he's in a new conference, a very stacked conference. More importantly, he's on a team. Once again, I'll repeat what I said. One quarterback away. We'll see how he rises to the occasion in that aspect of having expectations, because one thing being a third rounder and coming in and have nothing to lose. Now it's, hey, you're the quarterback we believe that can lead the team, that we have every skill position set. You're the guy. So we'll see what happens in Denver. I wish him the best. I think it'll be a good look for him. It's a different atmosphere, change of pace. He'll be more of a national stage, because, Seattle get lost in the sauce sometimes. So we'll see. Everybody loves Denver. So now we'll see if they still love Denver come week 9. And Aaron Rodgers, money makes the world go round. There's not much I could say. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going to say he doesn't deserve his money. He is a phenomenal talent. I mean, he's a great quarterback. But it's something that was mentioned that was interesting. And it was saying that, for all the talent he has, he only has one Super Bowl. So is he so talented that he can't make nobody better? Is he what that talent set hasn't transition into Super Bowl wins because I think he's a better quarterback than Tom Brady. However, maybe you don't have to be the greatest quarterback to win championships. So now Aaron Rodgers is the money man. He got the money. He got what he wanted. I'm not mad at him. He's highest paid. He deserves it because he won back-to-back MVPs. However, my 49ers beat him with Jimmy G in Lambeau with snow on the ground, couldn't feel nothing. Jimmy G didn't even look good, but when he won that game, he was beautiful. Yes, I call that man beautiful. He's my quarterback until further notice. He's beautiful. And we'll go to a topic that I love the best, which is Colin Kaepernick. Now, he released a video stating that, he's still working out. I still believe he could play. I think he's better than at least 10 quarterbacks. 10 starting quarterbacks. I think he's better than 10 starting quarterbacks. I do believe it. People be like, oh, you're lying. Oh, you just saying that because you believe in this cause. No, I'm saying that because I've seen him play. I'm a 49ers fan. I watched him. Remember, he was one throw away from actually winning a Super Bowl. And to be honest, and everybody knows it, it was pass interference. It was a bad throw, but it was still pass interference. So technically, we get the call, he's actually a Super Bowl champion. Are we having a different conversation? I don't know. But what I will say is this. I do believe he deserves a chance. But somebody said something that was very interesting. And matter of fact, it was Marcellus Wiley. And I love what he said. He said maybe he's not interested in playing. And maybe that could be an issue. Like, how do you gauge somebody and their love for something? And I never could do that because just because they may not show a passion that you show doesn't mean that they don't love what they do. And I think that that's the problem now. I think a lot of people want to see this burning passion, want him to just be like, I accept any position. And in life, we're always taught to never accept anything or you'll be given anything. So why are we asking him to do that when he has proven that he can succeed in this league? Let's look at it like this. Basketball is worse. But football, you could be in the league for 12 years and never see the playoffs. How many players have never seen the playoffs? How many players never went past the first round? How many players never went past a conference? How many players never went to a Super Bowl? So when you start looking at that, you start realizing that Colin Kaepernick already checked the block. He's been to a Super Bowl, 2 NFC championship games. He got records. He crushed Lambeau. What more can you ask for a quarterback that when you have starting quarterbacks who have never been to the playoffs? In his 6 years absence, there are starting quarterbacks right now, and that's been starting quarterbacks within that 6 years that have not went to the playoffs. Think about that. Before you dismiss him, think about the fact that there are players right now who've been in the league as long as he's been out that have not been to the playoffs. So I think he should get a chance. Will he get a chance? I don't know. But if that's what he desires, I hope he gets it. And whether or not he moves forward or not, I hope he's able to close that chapter in his life because he's still doing great things off the field and he's still doing great things for what he believes in it. And I respect him for that. NBA. So we saw a game the other night. Well, it was a game, but one player didn't show up. The Nets versus the Sixers. James Harden decided to take that night off, and Kyrie didn't. Kevin Durant didn't. Even Ben Simmons showed up, but he didn't play though. But when you actually saw the Nets play that night, you realize that that team is not just a team built to win. They're a team that, honestly, Ben Simmons is going to thrive in. Look what they did with Gordon Dragic. And Ben Simmons is a way better gifted passer. He's bigger, stronger. Honestly, I don't see nobody really containing them. Milwaukee is good. I think Guinness can do what he does, but what they did to Philly. Now, I know people are like, well, James Harden had a bad game. He did, but the thing is, will he always have a bad game against them? Remember, pressure's on now. We talk about the pressure on Ben Simmons, but it's more on James Harden because this is what, your fourth team? Is it four? Yeah, 14. You're on your fourth team. No championship. Kevin Durant out here sneak dissing you. Kyrie, he done turned into brother love, and he just like, yo, let him be happy, let him be free. Now all of a sudden, James, it's on you. Ben Simmons wanted out because of what happened, rightfully so. But this your fourth opportunity. Well, technically third because OKC didn't want to pay you, so technically third opportunity to get it right. Are you going to get it right? I hope you do get it right, and I hope Philly works out, and I hope it really works out for you. Unfortunately, I think it was a bad move because Milwaukee's still there. Miami's still there, and Miami's really a good team. And Brooklyn is there. And they're going to have Ben Simmons. Your starting lineup will at least be 6'3" or higher. Ben Simmons is 6'10". He's going to guard you. Think about that. So I thought that was interesting. The Nets played, and they beat them. I'm happy. It was a good game. But Harden's shortcomings have always come consistently when the team needs him the most. And I wonder if that's going to make Joel Embiid happy. Because Joel Embiid already tells you, he wants to win. He says he's the best big man. He didn't win MVP last year, but I skill set wise, he is the best big man. I think he's the best big man we've seen since Olajuwon. I think Olajuwon was a great skill. I know people like Shaq was the best. Shaq was just dominant. But skill wise, Kareem had the shot, but Hakeem footwork and everything. Embiid, if I'm not mistaken, Embiid works with Hakeem, so you could tell the footwork and stuff. He's good, and plus he could take the three. So now you got to ask yourself, is he going to be happy with James Harden? If he's unhappy, we're going to see friction, and we already know James Harden don't do well with friction, so that's going to be interesting, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Let's talk about games that don't matter. 50-point games don't matter. LeBron James had a 50-point game. It don't matter. Why? Because the team don't matter. I understand he's chasing Kareem. I hope he gets it. I'm not mad at him. 4 championships is hard to get. 1 championship is hard to get. And you got 4. And we're going to do a video about why people need to stop claiming that LeBron James is not the GOAT or in the top 3. Because when it comes down to the 75 years of the NBA, trust and believe, a lot of those championships were always won by 1 or 2 players. And 2 teams won both of them. So we're going to break that down, and we'll do that with William Coleman. But LeBron James right now, I don't know what he's playing for. Can they make the play-in tournament? Yes, but what they're going to make it for? And I know a lot of people are like, well, you play to win. You play to win when you understand the objective of winning. What is the objective of winning for him? Is it just to make the playoffs? Because if that's the case, then if it's winning a championship, then we have to ask ourselves, if he keeps moving forward, scoring 50 points on the Wizards, I get it. Low-hanging fruit, but the Wizards without Bradley Beal. So I just don't think that he understands. I take that back. He's smart. He understands what he's doing. I think right now he sees the team for what it is. And this offseason, we're going to see a brand new team. We're going to see a brand new Laker team. But that's the problem. Because if you keep having turnover like that, you don't get chemistry. There was nothing wrong with the team that he had in the bubble. To be honest with you, he should have kept those guys. He should have kept Caruso, KCP. He should have kept them. Should have kept the Dwight Howard. I know he got him back now, but he should have kept the Dwight Howard. JaVale McGee. Honestly, that team was better. They had a cohesiveness, and more importantly, they understood the assignment. They understood what it meant to be a Laker. What you have on the floor now is people who understand the game of basketball but don't understand the historical significance of being a Laker. And that's different. And that's where the issue lies in that. So we'll see what happens with the Lakers. Right now, for me, I'm just waiting to see what happens come playoff time with all the teams. I think the Nets are going to pull out the East. And out West, honestly, I'm going to close my eyes and shoot in the dark. Phoenix. They were there last year. I think they could do it again. So we'll see what happens. But in closing, we got to ask ourselves, what is it about professional athletes that we feel like we could call them out their name? Could you imagine you at work and you mess up and somebody coming around the corner calling you out your name because you messed up? You'll be ready to fight them, wouldn't you? You see them in the parking lot. I'll catch you after work. Or you'll quit. Or you will probably file a complaint with HR. But you feel like it's okay to call somebody out their name when they make millions of dollars. Why is that? Why do we do that? Maybe we really need to ask ourselves, what investment do we really have in professional athletes that we feel like when they make a mistake, that it brings down everything around us? That we could just call them out their names. We could just treat them and be disrespectful to them for what? Living out their dreams? Because what it's starting to look like is that we hate them because of their achievement. Could you imagine someone calling your child out their name because they failed a test? Could you imagine a teacher going up to your child and saying, you're dumb, you're stupid, or calling your child D? Hey, D. Hey, D. Why are you calling me D? Because that's all you get is D's. But y'all ain't going to listen to me. Y'all going to be like, oh, they need thicker skin. Well, maybe they need to start finding you and see how thick your skin is. Because I always say it's easy to tell somebody what they can do when you are on the outside. More importantly, it's easy to say that when you're behind glass. More importantly, it's easy to say that when you're 3 states away or a world away. But would you say that in their face when you know that they could put their hands on you? See, things change when you realize someone can actually touch you. So in closing, be careful, because somebody one day is going to touch you because you feel like you can call them out their name. And when they touch you, don't cry, and definitely don't go to HR. Just take that butt whipping like an adult and realize that you can't go around calling people out their name. In closing, I'd like to thank 2xposu, Darren Ray, to all the other shows on the network. Check out, we got another show coming up in 2 mics. That's minutes for y'all. And it's going to be a good show. And I'd like to thank my wonderful, wonderful sponsors, Mika Honey, the life designer planner, MikaHoney.com. And also, hauling on your car, gigantic mobile car detailer. Get it off your car and get ready. Summertime's here. Get fly. And we're out. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Let the Madness Begin. My Sean Taylor, William Coleman is out doing what he does best. making it rain in clubs that we no longer go to. I'll let you think about that. Can't wait to see him back in the studio. So this topic came to me in a dream. I was laying in bed. I think it was God, might have been the devil, SpongeBob, somebody. They were talking to me, and I was talking back to them. So I pray it was God. If I'm talking to the devil, then me and him got too close of a relationship that I'm not really comfortable with. And he said, whoever it was, I'm saying this guy, we're going to go with God, said, why does America make black men look crazy? And I said, well, what are you talking about? He said, think about this for a moment. We call Kanye West crazy, just to come back and realize that he was actually the smartest one in the room. We call Joe Buttons crazy, just to come back and say, you know what, he actually was telling the truth. Joe Rogan really is not what we thought he was. We call Russell Westbrook crazy, but they're literally sending death threats to his house and calling him out his name, but he's crazy. Crazy and being a black man go hand in hand in America. That's the first thing they like to tag you with when they come at you. You're crazy. What's wrong? Have you ever been at work and you're doing what you're supposed to do and something happens and all of a sudden they try to label you crazy? You don't know what you're talking about? That happens a lot with black men. A lot. And we're seeing it on the national stage, and using Kanye West as an example, we're quick to call him crazy, and I fell for it. So I have to apologize as a black man. Number one, I am working on the fact that I should never down another black man. The world does it enough, so why should I add to it? Hopefully more black men will follow that in my footsteps and say, you know what, why should we add on? When the world's doing it, why are we helping the world destroy when we could be rebuilding? So I'm going to work on that for myself. But I fell for it. You know, they was like, yeah, he going crazy over his wife or ex-wife, you know, this and that. And then something was said to me, and they said, well, do we really know the situation? No. Are we really seeing the interactions? No. Did he really not know where his child's birthday party was? Yeah, he didn't know. Does she really have this man around their children so quickly? Yes. But there was a statement Kanye West made. But everybody, we was calling him crazy, but he made a statement. And the statement was, you had me up at Saturday Night Live knowing that you and him were together. In other words, he was letting the world know that they've been messing around way longer than what was advertised. So how is he crazy when she had already laid the groundwork? He laid the groundwork. We've been calling Kanye West crazy. We've been calling a lot of black men crazy. Those labels get attached to us because we think differently, because we see things differently. But more importantly, when we call things out, we're considered crazy until someone comes and proves us right. They call Deshaun Watson crazy. No, look, that's got to be true. Look at all the women. But no criminal action. Do you take back what you say? No, because it's already out there. Can he move forward in life without that stigma? No, because it's already out there. We throw these labels onto black men, and we're quick with it, with no explanation. We don't even need an explanation anymore. It's amazing how this works, and we don't understand it because we get caught up in it. We crucify the black male in public. You're lying. I know I am. But however, I could tell you why. So remember when Kevin Hart had to apologize for a joke he made 20 years ago? Who does that? Now, mind you, Joe Rogan been saying the word ninja for a long time. They didn't make him apologize. Matter of fact, they were sweeping that under the rug. He told you how he felt about us and his Planet of the Apes. But they were sweeping that under the rug. He ain't lose no endorsements. But how many times black men lose stuff? We lose endorsements quickly. Tiger Woods. But, those situations, they weren't at the extreme. You're absolutely right. But we have white counterparts who do the same or worse. They don't lose nothing. I mean, we all know the Father of Seven Heaven touched children, but they never took his show off the air. Played with them too. The whole cast knew. They didn't say nothing. As long as those checks were coming in. Hugh Hefner's dead. All of a sudden now they're like, oh my God, he treated women bad. Really? If you go around a house with women half naked, drugs, and all the women are blind with blue eyes, you think that's normal? Yes, because he was white. Well, R. Kelly's crazy. Hugh Hefner's a national treasure. R. Kelly's crazy. See? Chris Brown's crazy. He out here just doing things to women, all this, all that. Well, Chris Brown said, I ain't do nothing to the girl. Here's the receipts. But how many of those white counterparts, those rock and roll ones back in the day, were sleeping with them 16-year-old girls that was coming to the parties? Jerry Lee Lewis is a national treasure. Elvis Presley is a national treasure. They're child molesters. Johnny Cash. A lot of them. But Chris Brown's crazy. R. Kelly's crazy. Ain't got no sense. No home training. But you know what's the biggest problem? The fact that we hop on that bandwagon. Let's cancel R. Kelly. Why? Because his music's wrong. Look what he did to those women. Did you cancel Playboy? Did you cancel Hugh Hefner? How many of y'all stopped watching any movie made by the Weinstein Company? How many of y'all canceled Quentin Tarantino? His movies are made through the Weinstein Company. We love, because black people, we are followers and we're stupid. All it takes is for them to show us some attention. Hey, come here, black guy, black girl. I'm a hop. I love your Me Too movement. I'm going to rub you on your back and tell you you're special and different from everybody else. Now I'm going to take the movement from you and you don't even exist no more. But I'm going to use you to fight my battles. How many, and I'll say this, how many black women in Hollywood were called crazy? How many black women in Hollywood don't make the same amount as their white counterparts, but you was there fighting for your white counterpart, and she ain't even fighting for you for equal pay? Because we're stupid. We get used. And I'm going to tell you why. And it's going to hurt my feelings, and we're going to cry. We're going to have a cry together because it's deep. Because the reason why we do it, the reason why we always do it, and it happens to be with what they taught us from slavery. But we're not going to get into that. But we have to start this attack on our own people. We say due process, but they make sure to get us. And I'm going to close this topic out with one last thing to prove my point. Remember the director from Birth of a Nation? Not the original one. The more modern version, Nate Parker. And white women got those black women riled up. No, you shouldn't support this movie because of what he did. And he didn't do nothing. No evidence, no nothing. Cleared of everything. Y'all sunk a movie that was supposed to be inspiring. Think about that. Try to sink a man's career for what? Kevin Spacey movies still get played. He played with little boys' buttholes. We always talk about what goes on in Hollywood parties. Well, we know what goes on in Hollywood parties. We still don't cancel none of them. Y'all quit to cancel your own people. Think about that. If it was across the board, I would support you, but I can't support people who cancel people that look like them quicker than they would cancel people who don't look like them. But I know why. It was engraved in us. We were sitting at a couch and a white lady was doing this. Ding, ding, ding. And then we did this. And we lost our souls. And we're going to have more on that as we move forward in our series. But in closing, I'm going to talk to you about another topic that we're going to do with Miss Victoria Baxter. And it's going to be, are relationships happier and healthier without expectations? And I know that sounds weird to people, but hear me out. You know, in the beginning of relationships, before you say you're boyfriend or girlfriend, or before you say y'all go together, y'all just living the dream. You know, your college relationships, y'all like eating ramen noodles together, y'all pour together. As soon as y'all start getting expectations of being in a relationship, as soon as you get the expectations of being married, then all of a sudden they say the thrill is gone. All of a sudden, y'all arguing. What changed? Expectations. See, y'all thought I was crazy. That's what y'all get. But the truth is, I'm not crazy. Expectations on a relationship are what brings down a relationship. And we're going to talk about that. And I think it's going to be funny because the first thing she said was, no, expectations, you got to have them. I said, I'm not saying you don't have to have them. I'm saying that if you think about what people say, they always say, oh, the relationship was great in the beginning because there was no expectations in the beginning. It's like being drafted in the 4th round to the NFL. There's really no expectation. So anything you do is house money. In the beginning of your relationship, if you call it a relationship, some of us sex our way into relationships. We'll talk about that. But before any expectations, you're happy. Think about this and you think I'm playing. What do people say? Man, I was happier when I was broke. You sure? Yeah, man, how are you happy when you're broke? I ain't had to worry about nothing. So you wasn't happy. You had no expectation. That was the difference. Man, this relationship was fun in the beginning, man. We were everywhere. We were doing everything together. She was making up that. And then what happened? Man, you know, life, she working, I'm working, we paying bills, we got a child. Expectations. So that series is going to be a series where we talk about the expectations within a relationship, not just a relationship between a boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, but also friendships, because things change with friendships and expectations are on your friendships. So we're going to be talking about that. And I think that's going to be a great series that we're going to start doing. And I think it'll help us understand, you know, how to maneuver with expectations. More importantly, how expectations can help us grow. It's like going to the gym. You know, I can lift 50 pounds, but am I going to grow? No. So I have to move up. So my expectations have to go up. So every week I have to go up at least 5 pounds. If I don't go up 5 pounds, then all I'm doing is just staying where I'm at. I'm not moving. So our relationships have to grow. So that's why we have to embrace expectations. So can't wait for that series. Also, we have a surprise. That's right. This is our last show that we'll be doing on Facebook. We are transitioning to YouTube and 2xposu. So moving forward, that'll be the only place you will see what we're doing. We will show you clips on Facebook, clips on our other social media. But to get the full content, you have to go to 2xposu.com and you will have to go to our YouTube channel. And we will be putting out that information with that transition. And we can't wait. We're excited because we're doing a lot of other stuff. And I know I'm the only one that's you see doing talking about it, but trust and believe the other guy who shows up when he wants to, because apparently he has that type of life. He will be here to tell you all that too. But in closing, we would like to say thank you to everybody who supported us throughout the years as we grow and we mature into this. Thank you to 2xposu.com for allowing us to actually show up to do this. It's not easy working with us. We're high demanding. I have a whole makeup crew off set. It's crazy. I got my own trailer. Y'all have no idea how much of a diva I really am. And I take that with pride. We'd like to thank all the other shows. Please check it out. Everybody on the network, 2xposu.com. Check us out on Venture Sight and Sound on all social media. Thank you to our sponsors, Mika Honey Life Designer, MikaHoney.com. Also, Gigantic Mobile Car Detail. Like, once again, it's pollen outside. I know y'all be like, oh my God, it's pollen on my car. Well, he'll make the pollen go away. And if you tip him right, he'll make the pollen never come back. But thank you, and we're out.